Hello everyone, Mayfake1210 here, and today I have a review on the 75298 AT-AT versus Tauntaun Microfighters. This set released on March 1st, 2021 for 20 bucks with 205 pieces, rated for ages 6+, and of course these two minifigures right here. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into the close-up. Quickly starting off with the box here, you can see you got the Tauntaun AT-AT there. Very nice box art. It looks very nice with Hoth there in the back. Looking at the microfighters themselves, I have to say, this AT-AT is really impressing me. First, they put the head on the ball joint, meaning you can get so much just emotion out of this AT-AT. It really makes it look like a dog or just something animal that you can just get like emotions out of. It's not, you know, a big hunk of metal in a walker. It's actually, you know, it has emotion. And even with the feet, you can get even more motion out of it. I just think that's really, really cool. Speaking of the legs, though, there isn't a lot of range of motion. You can move it back, but you can't really move it forward all that well. Although you can get some nice cartoony-looking poses. There's not a lot of range of motion if you want to do a purist AT-AT sort of range of motion there. The rest of the AT-AT, I think, looks really good at this small scale. Obviously, it's not the most detailed, but gets the job done. The cockpit there, you got the spot for your minifigure there and the little control panel. Minifigure just slides in like so. And I think it actually looks really nice up there. One thing that I'm glad that they did is they didn't put stud shooters on the actual microfighters, because first, the AT-AT is too small, and second, I don't want to know where they put a stud shooter on a Tauntaun. I mean, they can't put it on like the head or something. That just looked very, very weird. So glad they just stuck with the actual guns there. Anyways, for the Tauntaun itself, I'm very disappointed with how this actually turned out. It looks way more blocky than I thought it actually would, which is very disappointing. You do get some macro binoculars in white, which is pretty cool. You do have this tail here, which doesn't really have any range of motion. I mean, you can move it up and down, but that 1x1 tile there just kind of, it really just limits the range of motion they have in this thing, which is a little disappointing. You do have a seat for Luke Skywalker there. Then the head of the Tauntaun itself just looks really weird to me. It almost looks like it has a beak instead of the actual like muzzle it's supposed to have, which is a bit disappointing. Although I do like the little arms that they have at the front, which you can't pose and do stuff like that, which is very, very nice. But overall, pretty disappointed with the Tauntaun. There's also a clip for Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber if you don't want to be holding on to it. Our first main figure here, of course, is the Ath Pilot. Nothing too special about him. He's the same one that comes in the full-size Ath, bar the different head underneath there, which I'm glad they're not using Angry Clone anymore. Does have a stud shooter there, which you just push down on the gray there, and stud goes flying off like so. Pretty simple, and I am glad that they gave him just stud shooter guns instead of throwing them onto the actual microfighters. And then he does have a pair of macro binoculars there. Then, of course, the main minifigure, or the main draw for the set, is the new Luke Skywalker minifigure. He comes with a stud shooter and just a standard lightsaber there, which is very nice. But for the minifigure itself, I'm glad we were able to get an updated Hoth Luke Skywalker minifigure. The last one we got was on that $300 UCS Hoth set, so it is nice to see one in such an affordable set here. The printing for his little vest there, I think, looks very nice, very modern, very clean. And then the leg printing is also very nice, too, to capture sort of those Hoth garments. Speaking of which, you do have the helmet here, which has the detachable visor you can put over his face if you want. It looks very oversized like this. I think it looks much better when it's up on his little forehead here. But to each his own, you can do that, and I think it actually is a very nice feature. Either way, the Luke head is actually something very new and different. They printed it on a white head to give him a sort of scarf look that he had at the beginning of episode 5. And I think it actually looks very, very nice. I would have preferred that like glare expression at the back was either a Wampa scar face or a more angry face. This one's just sort of like a annoyed little glare or something. I just think it could have been a much better face. Also, another problem with this helmet here is that you can't actually see the bottom of Luke's face at the back, which is a little disappointing, but all honesty is kind of forgivable given that they couldn't really avoid that with the mold of the helmet there. Anyways, that's Luke Skywalker. The extra pieces in the set are actually pretty interesting. You do get one extra of each of the Wampa and Tauntaun horn here, which is actually very, very cool. You do also get a visor here, a lightsaber, and then, of course, a few extra red studs. So this is probably the weirdest microfighter ever made, but in my opinion, it's probably one of the best. I mean, this AT-AT just really blows it out of the water with the amount of motion you can get with just the head there. And then the legs, although they do have limited posability, you can get some nice, wacky, cartoony poses with them. The Tauntaun is a bit disappointing, but Frankly, if you hate it enough, you can use it for spare parts. There's a lot of good ones in there. The minifigures are superb, with the AT-AT driver not coming in many cheap sets, so it's always welcome to get another one in such a cheap set here. And then Luke Skywalker has a whole bunch of new prints and details on him, and I think he turned out very, very well. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like if you did enjoy, and consider subscribing if you want to see more reviews, stop motions, and scene recreations, all coming very, very soon. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and until then, goodbye.